Hey gamers, today we're going to look at Raiders of the North Sea and its expansions, Hall of Heroes, and Fields of Fame. Let's check them out. Set for the game, what you're going to do is you're going to take all these little resource tokens that you see I've already scattered across the board, but you're going to stick them in this black bag and then randomly deal them out in each one of the areas here, and you're going to deal as many resources as are in the top left corner. That number, that little number in green, will tell you how many resources go there. After that, you'll dump out all the extra resources from the bag and pull them over to the side. You will have some dice you'll put over to the side. You'll put over a stack of provisions to the side. You'll have nice little metal coins if you're playing with the Kickstarter edition. You'll have those over to the side, and you'll have a stack of cards, Raiders cards here, another stack of little red tiles here. You'll deal 3 of them out here. Now also you're going to put black Vikings here, here, and here on the Gatehouse, Town Hall, and Treasury, and then you're going to put the gray and white Vikings across the board, and they're just going to match the icons that are already pre-printed on the board. Each player will start with their little player card showing their number, showing some in-game scoring, also showing the max you can have of hired crew and provisions and silver and stuff. Also, if you flip it over, there's a 50-point tracker, so if you go to the 50 points, you have to go back over again. You'll just flip this over to the other side. Each player will also start with 1 black Viking of their own and 2 silver coins. Now at the beginning of the game, everyone's going to draw 5 Raiders cards. They're going to look at them, and they're going to keep 3 and discard 2 to the discard pile. Now if this pile ever runs out, you'll just reshuffle the discard pile and put it back out again. How the game plays is very super simple. What you're going to be doing is going through town, building up resources, hiring crew and whatnot, and then you'll be going out and doing raids in harbors or outposts or monasteries or fortresses, wherever you want to do. And so how the game plays is very, very simple. What you're doing is you're placing one of your workers down in an area, taking that action, and then you're going to be removing, so I place a guy here, and then you're going to be removing another player and taking that action as well. So you'll always be taking 2 actions. You're placing a Viking and then taking a Viking away. It's getting basically 2 actions. What do these actions do? Well, the barracks lets me hire someone from my hand. As you see here, my cards here will show different amounts of coin. That's the coin I must pay to place them out. Now I can have a max crew of 5. After that, if I want to get another one, I have to discard one of the people in my crew. What the Town Hall action does has this little icon here that matches the icon on any of the played characters. You can activate their special power. So for instance, it says, hey, I can hire 1 crew member immediately for only 2 silver. Ooh, that may be good for someone like him who costs 3 silver. So I may, if I go play here, may pay my 2 coin and get him, and then remove this guy from the Town Hall, put him with me, and activate this guy's special ability and hire a second guy. Ooh, that's maybe a good combo there. What the Gatehouse does, it gives you 2 more Raiders cards that you can add to your hand. What the Treasury does, it lets you discard Raiders cards. You can discard 1 and get 2 silver coins, or discard 2 and get 1 gold nugget. Over in the Armory, you have to pay a gray or a white, but if you pay an iron, you can go up 2 on the red track. There are 3 tracks in the game, red, black, and yellow. If you look back here, you have markers on each one of these 3, and so going to the Armory would move up, if I paid 1 iron, 2. Or instead, if I didn't have any iron, I could pay 2 silver and move up 1 on that track. Going back down here, the meal action, as you see below there, depends on what color Viking you have. Will give you either 1 or 2 provisions, or if it's white, you can either get 2 provisions or a gold. The silversmith, if it's a black Viking, gives you 3 silver. If it's any other color, it only gives you 2 silver. Here, by paying either a gray or a white, which at the beginning of the game no one's going to play on these 2, but the longhouse, you can pay 1 cattle token and get 2 provisions, or go here and fulfill one of these 3 tokens here. And what you have to do is you have to pay the resources. So if I had 4 coins, I could pay the resources. These will count for victory points at the end of the game. Basically building up provisions, getting Vikings, getting crew, and whatnot. Now, the big game comes out here when you're doing raids through all of the city and all the town here. And let me just kind of show you very quickly how this works. It's very easy to read. What you're going to do in this case, I'd pay a gray Viking to go here. As you see some other spots on the board, like over here, you can pay a gray or a white. But anyway, once you've done that, you have to pay whatever's up here, the cost. This cost 3 provisions. So I'd had to pay 3 provisions back into the on the player board. If you look up here, this one cost a gold and 2 provisions. But anyway, looking at this one, 3 provisions, and then I have to have at least a crew of 3 out. So I have to have at least 3. Now I can have more than that, but at least I have a crew of 3. After that, then I need to add up all my red points to see how many victory points I scored for raiding that outpost. How you add up red points is very simple. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be adding up the crew cards that are in your hand right here. So let's say I had these 3 out. Well, that's 5, that's 6. I have 6 red strength cards, I think. Strength points is what it's called. And then plus you add up any points you have on this strength board, which right now I have 3. So 6 plus 3 is 9. So going back to this outpost, it says one more thing I have to do, and as you see, it's that red die. And that means I roll one of these red die. Now there are other icons on the board that have you roll 2 red die. But this one I roll 1 red die. Now I'm at 9 right now. So I roll it, and that's 10, 11, 12. I got 12 points. So 12 means I'll get 2 victory points. If somehow I could have gotten up to 16 or more, I would have gotten 4 victory points for raiding that outpost. Now when you raid an outpost, it doesn't matter which one you decide to raid. What you're doing is you're paying your gray one and either grabbing this or this loot over here. And then you're grabbing the Viking attached to it. So if I want a white or gray Viking, I can take that. Either one. Now, of the resources, there are 4 different types. I've already talked about iron, gold, and cattle, but the other one is Valkyrie. This isn't resources. When you have a Valkyrie token, that means you have to, basically you kill a Viking. So what you're doing is you're killing someone from your crew. You're taking one of your crew, in this case if I had 3, and I'd have to kill one and discard him to the discard pile because he is dead. Now, boo-hoo for losing someone in my crew, but because I did that, I go up 1 on the Valkyrie chart here, this black chart here. Now, if there's more than 1 Valkyrie, let's say that this one I took over had 2 Valkyrie, I would only kill off 1 Viking, but I would only go up 1 on the track. You wouldn't go up 2 on the track for that. That's basically how the game is played. Put down an action and then complete it, going on raids or going back to the town here and building up and getting ready for the next raid. Now, the game ends in any one of 3 ways. The first way is if all but 1 of these areas have been raided, then the game ends. If you've depleted this stack of red cards here, there's no more stack of red tokens, then the game ends. Or if there are no more Valkyrie tokens on the board, then the game ends. At that point, you're going to be adding up all of your victory points. Sometimes if you go up these 2 tracks here, you can get extra victory points on the board that you'll add to your yellow there. If you actually look at your thing here, it says, hey, you get 1 victory point for every gold and iron you have left over, and for every 2 livestock, you'll get a victory point as well. And of course, whoever has the most victory points at the end wins. The Hall of Heroes expansion adds a 5th player, adds these little tokens for, 5 times bag, 5 times coin, just in case you run out of resources, you can grab one of these tokens. They represent 5 of that resource. It will also come with these quest tiles, more Vikings. You'll have this board that you put on the bottom of the main board. It basically represents the Mead Hall here. And then each player has their own player board. As you see here, this is where you keep up with those red tiles from the bottom right-hand corner of the base game. You can stack them up here. It tells you how many total resources you can have, no more than 8 of these mix here. There's a new resource. It's called Mead. You can only get it at the Mead Hall here. And then of course your 1 Viking, whatever 1 Viking that is that you have in your hand, you just put it right there on the player board, and all your supplies can just go out in the lawn, I guess, because everyone's very trustworthy as a Viking. Now the game changes not only with this player board, but how you resolve raids. So at the end of every raid, and I'll just have a piece of the board here to show you, but let's say someone raided and took all the tokens from this area. What you're going to do is take one of these quest tiles and place it right over it like so. Now what this means is people can go on a quest. Ignore all the requirements as you see. Let's say it was down here. Ignore all these requirements now. All you have to do is have that many strength points in your hand. Not crew play, but in your hand. So for instance, let's say that I had this hand here, and I haven't shuffled these decks, so some are the same character, but let's say I had this hand here. Well, I have 6, 8. I could, on my turn, go to the mead hall, play, discard my 8 strength cards, and claim this quest. I have won it. Yay, the quest is mine. And so, for doing so, I will get the reward, which in this case is gold and cattle, and then I'll place this quest tile right here. And as you see, this will add up to victory points at the end of the game for each quest I complete. Quests come in different icons, as you see here, and this is the other icon here. But if ever you were to get 3 of one icon, so let's say I got this one. Now I have 3 of the same icon quest. So that's really good, because that means I can claim and get one of these rings. And these rings will give you different things, bonuses. Excuse me, 4 mead, 3 coins, 3 cards, and of course when you draw one, you'll replace it with another one here on the board. But that happens, and then what you do is you take this one and place it here. So it also counts as a quest card and increases your victory points. Woohoo! But other things you can do while playing in the mead hall is claim one of these cards. If you don't want to go to the town hall and just get 2 random cards in the deck, now you can go here and choose the card you want and add it to your hand. And if you pick this one, you'll get 1 mead. If you pick this one, you get a mead and a coin. If you pick this one, you get 2 mead and a coin. After that, after one is taken, whichever one it is, they will all slide down and you'll add a new one from the deck here. But what does mead do? Well, mead is basically liquid encouragement. During a raid, when you're going on raids, if you want to give them 1 extra strength here, you can place a mead token on them, and it's temporary, so it's only once, one and done. You place it there, now he's a 5. After that raid's complete, you will discard the mead token out from your cache. You can always get more, but this will add a +1 on everyone's strength, which is really cool. And finally, we have the Fields of Fame expansion. Basically, it's this sideboard you'll throw here. You'll put these Jarl cards right there. Has 3 extra areas, some townships you can attack. Has a new track here, the Fame track. It gives you extra score markers for everyone to place it there. You're also getting another player in the game, adds another player. Gives you some more 5 times tokens as well. Gives you more cards, of course. And it adds this to the spot here. Basically, you'll take this and add it to your player board. I'll explain what it means in a minute. And then it takes these little tiles here, these little tokens, these blue tokens. You're going to shuffle these with the rest of them in the bag and play them out around the area. And when one of them is won in battle or captured on a raid, you're going to have to flip over this Jarl card and fight this person. Oh no! Now, there's 3 options you can do, and these represent the 3 options. First off, I can kill this sucker. Now, if I kill him, he's a +1, whatever's on his red. And if I see this, he's 5, so that means he's a 6. Now, what I have to do, let's say my open crew is these 3 people. I have to take hits equal to what it would take to kill him, which in this case is a 6. So how to do that is I use these blood tokens and I place them on the character cards. Now blood tokens will weaken these people. So let's say I took 2 on her, 1 off her and 3 off him. Now if anyone ever suffers equal blood tokens to their strength, they die and they're out of your hand. But once I do that, I have killed them and I will gain the reward, whatever's here. And as you see, on top of killing them, I will also go up the Fame track 2 spots. Another thing is I could subdue them. Basically, it's a -1 to whatever their red is. And what I do is, instead of a 5, it's a 4. So now let's say he just takes, let me see, 4. So I just need to do 4. So he'll take 3 off and she'll take 1 off. That's 4. He gets 3 blood and she gets 1 blood on him. But I can pay the 3 coins now and add him to my hand. And so he's good because I'll gain a victory point for every 2 cards in my hand. Ooh, that's really nice. So you can add them to your crew if you subdue them. Remember, it's a -1, whatever their strength is. Or the third thing I can do is I can just run away because I'm a coward. If I do that, I lose 1 on the Fame track or I lose a victory point. So those are your 3 options on what to do. And of course, moving to the Fame track can count for victory points at the end. There are several in the deck here, more than there are blue, so you'll always be fighting different opponents, it seems. And of course, same thing, same victory point conditions apply. One other thing I forgot to mention is the game does come with some alternate dice. Instead of the red dice, you can use these black die. Basically, they symbolize the same thing, except every once in a while, it has a Valkyrie on there, so one of your Vikings could die. These are just alternate dice you can use to replace the red dice in the base game. Final thoughts, what do I think about the games? Wow. Wow. I reviewed Explorers of the North Sea, and that was the first one I played when I got all these in. And then I got Raiders. I had a feeling Raiders was going to be a little bit more fun than Explorers when I read about it. Raiders is awesome. This is a fantastic game. This is finally a Viking game. I only had one Viking game in my collection before getting this North Sea stuff, and that was Ektorp by Queen Games. Fun game. Still love Ektorp. But Raiders of the North Sea. Ooh, my new favorite Viking game. I love the worker placement here. Place one worker, take the action, remove an existing worker, and take that action too. Leads to several combos. And the balance of building up your crew, building up your provisions, building up your cash, you can afford more crew, and then going out on raids. You have to balance it out. If you go on too many raids, you'll run out of provisions and crew and everything, and have to spend time in town while everyone else goes raiding. You're like, oh, I feel like I'm missing out. Hurry, hurry, hurry. We need to go. So there's this rush going on. You can't just sit there and get all powerful. You got to go, go, go. And I love that. I love that about the game. I think this is awesome. This is a fantastic game. Everyone I've played it with so far absolutely loves the game, loves it, and turns can go really fast too. So let's talk about the expansions. First off, Hall of Heroes, great. Great. I love it. I love the Liquid Courage. I appreciate that. Getting able to choose a card. Sometimes there's specific cards you want instead of just drawing two random cards. I like that too. I love going on the quest because that allows more things to do in the game, because once a place gets raided, well, that's it. That's all. No, now you can go on quest too. And it drives up the importance to get cards. The guardhouse was okay. You went to it every once in a while when you needed extra cards to play with, play other Vikings or build up your crew. But sometimes you got cards that you didn't really want. You're like, ugh. And so then you have to go to the tax house or whatever it is and get rid of them just to get some extra points or something for it. But it really wasn't, it's kind of useless. Now, man, it's even more important to go by and get more cards, because now you can spend them on quest and get rewards for it too. Fantastic. Absolutely love it. Now, what about Fields of Fame? Love it too. Love it too. I love that you have to fight people and you're killing them and you're hurting yourself. It adds more danger to the game, because now players, Vikings will die. And by the way, you don't get Valkyrie for fighting these people. So if one of your Vikings die, it doesn't go, toward you, your black track doesn't go up. But I like that. I like trying to turn them too, because you may want to go ahead and do that. You may say, hey, they're actually a pretty good Viking. I may take them and try, subdue them into my crew there. I love the choices here. Man, I love both of these expansions. I think you should get them both. In fact, I think I played one or two times on the base game and just absolutely loved it. And then we tried this one and we loved it too. And then I tried this one separately and loved it too. And now I think, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to combine all three and play it like that, because I do think it's well worth it. There's also some things you can go online. I think there's a promo pack here and there. You can find them at the Board Game Geek store, or actually on the publisher's website. I think I ordered this and some 5-year anniversary. It has expansions to all this, Explorers, and another game that's kind of takes place in their world. And this just unbelievable game. Now there's another one in this trilogy of North Seas called Shipwrights. I don't have it because when I looked at it, it didn't look that good. Maybe eventually I will get it, because Explorers is a fun game, but Raiders is a fantastic game. Fantastic. Even if you just get the base game, it's well worth your time. All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Until then, game on.